This is my recap of RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 6, Episode 3, Scream Queens. So, like my great auntie used to say, beauty must suffer. And this week I went to the dermatologist and suffered a lot. So please ignore my red, scaly cheeks. I am sloughing off my old layer. My new layer shall emerge soon. I tried to do big dramatic eyes, but it doesn't really seem to work the way I'd hoped. First off, I want to talk about the Logo app. So Logo has an app where you can watch episodes and stuff and previews. And so I tried that out and I watched the preview and I loved that because I could, sit up here in my little hovel away from the TV and check things out. And I was going to come back and watch the whole episode after I saw it downstairs in the big TV and just take extra notes. And the app kept crashing or locking up during the commercials. So somebody needs to fix that because that would be really convenient if it worked. The episode starts off with the episode 1 queens meeting the episode 2 queens, and they're all bristling and trying to outshade each other and all that. And I wasn't real impressed. If you're going to throw shade and you're going to make these snappy comebacks, and they need to be good. They need to be funny, they need to be witty, they need to be cutting, they need to be something. But they all kind of fell flat to me. Like, I am the boom boom gun, like, what? And don't be throwing it, or I don't know. I just didn't necessarily find that anybody came off looking especially, especially good. The one thing is that when Courtney made the comment to Adore about like, oh, were you in the first season? Adore should have been like, no, I was 6. Like, I'm sure that's the case. I saw American Idol for the first time when I was in college, and Adore's got to be like 10 years younger than me. So there's no way she could have been on the first American season of American Idol. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But whatever. So the first kind of little beginning challenge is a sort of lip sync where the queens had to pair up. Episode 1 with episode 2 had to pair up, and one of them would be the top half and one of them would be the bottom, the legs, and they would kind of, one would sit in the other, and they would kind of do this little dance. And it was really cute. I'd never seen that before. And Adore and Milk won. Now, I keep wanting to call Milk Salt. So if I do that, I apologize. It's not intentional. Now, that big challenge is a campy horror movie, either in the 60s or the 80s style. And I love it. I thought it was perfect. Adore gets the 80s version, and Milk gets the 60s version. And they all go and they pick their team, and each one of them picks all the queens from their own episode. So I guess they're all like in cliques. I don't totally get it because they're going to have to beat everyone in order to win. So why do they care? But maybe it's just these are the people that they're most comfortable with. So better the enemy you know than the enemy you don't know. I don't know. And we start out with the challenge. Now, I have a note here. I got a bone to pick with someone over at Logo. During the commercial break, they show a commercial for the next week's episode, and they tell me at least 5 or 6 of the queens that I guarantee will still be on the show. And I was pissed. I hate when competition shows do this, and they always do it. Like, I can't even tell you how many shows I've watched where I've been like, is it A or B? Is it A or B? And then they played a commercial and A's on the commercial. So I go, oh, well, I guess the last 10 minutes of the episode I can just tune out because I already know. And I'm genuinely ticked off about this. I need to like start a petition or something, but somebody needs to stop giving us spoilers for the next episode before we're done with this episode. So anyway, I would prefer if they not do that anymore. Now we go into the movie. I'm going to discuss both the practice and the completed project because there's just not enough information for me to break it up. So I will start off with the 60s version, which was team captain is Milk. Courtney, Bianca, Jocelyn, and Darian were all great. They all did a wonderful job. The only one who really struggled was Trinity. Had a hard time facing the camera, had a tendency to turn away. RuPaul actually had to get up and give like instructions. But when we actually saw the completed episode, you didn't even notice. Everything looked great. Everyone looked great. They all have a future in campy horror. Perfect. Then we get to Adore's team, who had the 80s version. And we sort of see Gia during the practice not knowing how to pronounce DeLorean, referring to it as DeLorean. And I have to ask, do you think it's an act? I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying I have an opinion one way or the other, but, you know, I see a lot of people that whenever someone does something sort of airheadish, they're like, oh, what an idiot. And I know at least half of the time that they're just trolling us or just punking us. Like, that's a persona that they're doing to achieve a look. And so I gotta ask, do you think it's real? Or do you think that airhead thing is a purposeful decision, or somewhere in between? A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Just gonna throw that out there. Adore really struggles during the filming. Doesn't know her lines, doesn't know her cues. They didn't do any practice, so everyone's kind of struggling a little bit. Pulled it together in the final version. Final version looked pretty good. Now, they gave a really hard time to April. In the opening scene, she's playing a sort of butch real estate agent. Gave her a really hard time saying that she read boy. I didn't see that. I watched it a couple times. I saw a butch female. That was, you know, that's what I saw, with sort of a tough accent. She played opposite, I think it was Laganja Estranja. I couldn't really recognize, but I kind of did some deductive over who else was there. I thought that was super bizarre. I thought Laganja's accent was bizarre. You know, oh, let's get physical. Sounds an awful lot like Scooby-Doo. Scooby Snacks. Do you hear it? To me, it was just really bizarre choice. I don't know if it was in the script to do like a weird Scooby / like Norwegian Swedish chef sort of accent or what, but no one mentioned anything, so apparently it was fine. And then we saw Vivacious be the head in the box, and in the final product there was this humongous pause between when they took the box off of her head and when she actually said her lines. My first thought was, why didn't they edit it better? Why didn't they cut that out? Why didn't we see RuPaul say anything to her during practice? Like, it felt really weird to me, and my first thought was, they picked the worst take. I have no proof of that. I have no reason to say that. No logic, nothing, but that was my initial thought. Did anyone else, like, think that, like, oh, they wanted her in the bottom, so they picked the worst take? Because it was, like, the very end, and that's kind of why the whole thing fell apart. Now, after they were all done filming, they were given their assignment for the runway, which is your best drag look. And they're all sitting around, you know, painting their faces and stuff. And they're all being sassy queens. And I didn't really, once again, think it was all that clever. But Vivacious said one thing that I thought was dead on, and I wanted to address, which is that fishy is kind of boring. I agree. There are millions, probably billions of women who are women. They look like women, they sound like women, quite a few of them are gorgeous. So for me, seeing a man dress as a beautiful woman in and of itself is not enough. That in and of itself is not entertaining. So I agree, being fishy is not looking like a woman is not necessarily what I want in a drag queen. Alone. Part of it, yes, but not the only thing. Anyway, we go into the looks. I'll say that I thought everyone looked really good. Wanted to point out a few things. One was Milk. Super weird. Super weird. I like weird. I think it's interesting. Come here, puppies. So my dog came and joined me. I don't think you can see him. I felt that both Darian and Adore Delano could have better outfits. I felt like they just weren't enough. Like they're from here up, they're beautiful, gorgeous hair, gorgeous face. Hey, you okay, buddy? I felt they deserve gorgeous big gowns. Hi, baby. So, see, this is Pocket. He wants to say hi. Say hi. Hi. Okay, so we got two dogs up here now. I feel they deserve better outfits. So, Darian, Adore, you need to get some amazing big drag queen clothing. I mean, Darian did have the big, I don't know what you'd call them, the wings, but I just don't feel that that was enough. And the last thing was Vivacious's outfit. I don't have a problem with it being weird. The problem I had is it looked like a man in an outfit. So if it was like this big, gorgeous woman in this crazy outfit, would have worked for me. I just didn't feel that it pulled that in. The judges did put Vivacious in the bottom, which seemed like a given, and they put April in the bottom. I don't necessarily think, I don't agree or disagree. I was fine with it, but I didn't, when I went back through and analyzed it, I wasn't sure how I felt. Lip sync was phenomenal. In the end, though, they did send Vivacious home. So there you go. Look forward to next week when I can show you my fresh, beautiful skin. I'll see you then.